Hi there, and welcome to the Mindful Marathon podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Quirk, a run coach and pediatrician. Mindful Marathon is all about helping runners of all types to run their own race. Whether you are a seasoned runner or you're just getting started, I want to let you know that you're welcome here and that you're in the right place. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. The podcast this week has a Thanksgiving theme. And so this episode is coming out on Monday, the week of Thanksgiving. And so here I am with the fireplace in back of me, and I've gone through quite a few cups of herbal tea today as I have been batch recording some podcast episodes for you for the future. And so while I was coming up and brainstorming some new topics for the podcast, I really wanted to do a special episode all about the Turkey Trot because it is a race that is near and dear to my heart, and because I have roped in lots of family and friends to doing turkey trots over the years. And so this episode is a little bit of love to the turkey trot, and it's not too late for you to sign up for one if you aren't signed up for one at the time you're listening to this. And so the episode comes out Monday, but we'll talk all about the turkey trot and how to find one if you aren't yet signed up for one. So hopefully I can inspire you to sign up for one by the time we're done here, okay? Now, with Thanksgiving, this week really starts the kickoff of the holiday season. And I love the holidays. I love this time of year. And it's really wonderful to spend time with family and friends, and we have meals and gatherings and festivities and all of these things, but I also do feel the busyness of the holiday season. I'm not sure if you are feeling that as well, but I just want to acknowledge that. And as we go into this holiday season in the next couple of weeks, the podcast episodes here might be just a little bit shorter than usual, like just a few minutes shorter, but just to acknowledge that this is a busy season of life, and I know that we don't have a lot of time always to listen to the episodes, whether you are on your commute or on a run. And so I'm just, giving myself grace too, and I want you to know that I feel this busy time. And so we'll have some episodes really all about that and to honor this holiday season and, come away from it feeling hopefully like we got a lot of time to connect with family and friends, but also had time to reconnect with ourselves and have time for self-care also. So, the first thing about a turkey trot, what makes the turkey trot so special? So, I'm trying to think back to the first year I did a turkey trot, and I would have to look this up. It might have been like 2014 or 2015, so maybe 10 years ago. And I've done a number of them because Tony and I have lived in a number of places over the years. We've run them at places that were nearer to us where we were living, but we've also run them near where our families live. And there are a lot of different turkey trots. This is one of the most plentiful races to choose from. And so if you even look up your own zip code, you might find that there are, 3 to 5 different ones in your neighborhood. And so I think what makes it so special, number one, is that it's accessible. So most communities have one that is pretty nearby. It might even be in your backyard. You might only have to walk like 1 block to get to the start line. The other thing is that most of them are a 5K distance. And I know I've talked about this before on the podcast, but the 5K distance is really approachable. And I find that most people can walk it comfortably. So you might be the runner of the family, but there are many family members who would be able to walk it along with you. And it's something that you can get kids to do. Some races are pet friendly and you can bring your family dog, but I find that it's really accessible. So there are lots of them. Usually it is a 5K distance, but there are some longer ones, and there are some of odd distances, like maybe 1 mile or 2 mile turkey trots. So you just have to look that up. The other thing is that it is short enough to fit into a busy holiday morning. So most of the time, turkey trots happen the morning of Thanksgiving Day. And I don't know about you, but that can be kind of busy trying to prepare the meal and waiting for family members from out of town to show up. And there's just a lot going on. And so it's usually a short enough race that you can fit this into the morning without too much pressure. I find that it's all of these things combined, right? It's a lower barrier to entry. And again, you don't really need a lot of fancy gear. If you're in the Northeast, you will have to dress for the cold. So go back a couple episodes and listen to the podcast episode about dressing for running in the cold because you might want to you might want to be prepared that way. But other than that, you don't need too much to be able to run this race in a short period of time. So the first thing that makes the Turkey Trot special is that it's very accessible. The second reason why I love a turkey trot, it is a fun and I'm going to say a low stakes goal. Okay. So it's great for runners who want to put something on their calendar without a heavy training load. Okay. And this happens often, right, at the end of the fall marathon season. So fall is a very busy time and a great time for a half marathon and a full marathon. And like here in Philly, we're just finishing up the race weekend for the Philly half and full marathon. And so a turkey trot comes at the end of all of that. And so you may have just run a very long race and had a very heavy training load for a number of months. And now you might be entering your off season. And so this can be a really fun and low stakes race that you can do to just, break things up and also get your family involved. The other thing is that it helps to maintain a sense of routine during a time of year when I find that routines can fall apart rather easily. And this is true for me as well. So I'm going into a running off season during this winter, and I think having the turkey trot on the calendar is just helpful. And I also find that the act of signing up for an event, so signing up for the race, it gives a little spark of motivation and it gets you excited about it. And I know that this was true when I started asking family members if they would like to do it with me. My niece was super, super excited, and I think her excitement helped me to be even more excited about the idea as well. So, the second reason I love a turkey trot is a fun and low stakes goal. The third reason why I love a turkey trot, and I've already alluded to it, is that it is a great family event. In fact, the one that we're running this year, I think I've got my husband, my mom, my sister, and my niece and I, so five of us. So the race has a contest. Well, they have two contests. One is a costume contest, and the second is an award or a prize for the family with the most people at the race. And so I don't think we're going to win this with five. I bet there are more, but five is pretty good. But you can get, your partner, your parents, your kids, your friends. We can get lots of people involved and to come along with us for the ride. And maybe people who really, they've never really even considered doing something like this before. Over the years, I've gotten, let's see, my mother-in-law, Tony's aunt, my niece and nephew, my mom. Yeah, lots of people I've gotten to do a turkey trot. So I find that again, it's an easier yes if you have a lot of people doing it. It's a good form of peer pressure, And I always approach it that, hey, you don't have to run it, you can walk. Most of these races are very friendly to walkers. So consider sitting down with your family or those family members coming in from out of town and see what you can do in terms of getting toward that prize for the most people at the race. I love the idea that this is a chance to build some memories around the holiday and a tradition that isn't just based around the meal, right? Like it's not just having to do with the dinner table, but it's this time that we can spend together moving our bodies and having a really great time before all of that. So I love that. And I also think it's just great modeling behavior for all of the kids in the family, whether or not you have children of your own, but for those nieces and nephews and cousins, I mean, they're looking up to us. And I think this is just a really nice way to involve them, but also to model really great habits. So those are my three reasons why I love a turkey trot. Now I want to share how to find one. So if you're listening to this and you're like, hey, that sounds actually pretty fun, I hadn't thought about it. How do I find one? So a couple of things you can do. The first would be if you are sitting in the comfort of your home, go to runningintheusa.com. It's a great website. You can filter by your zip code or by wherever you will be for Thanksgiving Day. And then you can see what races are happening on that day. And like I said, most of them are 5Ks, but just be mindful of the distance when you're looking at it because there are some turkey trots that offer different options. Like maybe they have a 3 mile or a 5 mile option. I know that there are other ones that even have like up to a half marathon on Thanksgiving Day. So I'm talking about shorter distance here as in this podcast episode, but there are turkey trots that are longer than a 5K distance. So keep that in mind when you look on the website. The other place that would be an easy way to find one, if you have a local running store where you usually get your running sneakers, they often have advertisements for local races and turkey trots this time of year, so you can pop in there if it's close by. And then the third would be on social media, simply, a Google search or on Facebook or Instagram, you can look up turkey trots in your area as well. Now, if all else fails and you don't find an official race, or if you find a race, but maybe the registration is full, you can make your own 5K route around your home with your family or your friends. So you don't have to sign up for an official race. You don't have to spend any money at all. You can do your own 5K route and put on your drumstick headband, dress like a turkey, do your thing, and please send me photos if you do that. But that is part of the fun of this. So you can do it right in your neighborhood and have a lot of fun with your family and friends too. Now, we've talked about why I love a turkey trot and how to find one. I also want to just make mention at the beginning, I noted that the holidays are a great time, but also a very busy time, and they can be a very difficult time, depending on what that brings up for you with family and traditions and loved ones who are lost and may not be at the dinner table. And I want to recognize that and say that starting your Thanksgiving day with a turkey trot, it is an act of self-care, really. And you're setting a boundary there, like, hey, I'm going to take this time in the morning for me to do this run or walk and move my body and maybe be with some family members or friends who are doing the race with you. But it can be a lot, especially if you're the Thanksgiving host, right? You're preparing and doing all of that grocery shopping and cooking and cleaning and managing who is coming in from out of town and all of these things. And it's just a lot. And so I think starting the day with a turkey trot is just a wonderful way to set the tone for the day for yourself, that it's intentional, it's joyful, it's fun. So keep that in mind. That's another reason why I love a turkey trot, especially if you are the host of, of the Thanksgiving meal. Now, I wanted to mention something that someone said to me at least once or twice when I told them that I was running a turkey trot on Thanksgiving morning. Someone responded with a comment like, "Oh, Well, that's great. Now you can eat whatever you want tonight. And I was very taken aback by that. And I wanted to address that in this episode. That was something that was bothering me. So the comment implies that we need to earn our Thanksgiving dinner. We need to earn our food. And we do not. And running does not need to be transactional, okay? So movement doesn't have to balance out any kind of calories that we're taking in. And we are allowed to eat because we are humans and we need to eat, not because we ran, okay? And so if anybody says that to you, I encourage you to come up with a response back to them because I have gotten that comment multiple times in the past. And so I would like to respond with something positive, like a turkey trot is a celebration of movement and community. It has nothing to do with a negotiation with food. Okay? So, you deserve Thanksgiving dinner no matter what you did that morning. And it's totally fine if you slept in, if you stayed on the couch, if you went to a football game, like you do you. And this is not a negotiation with food. So, okay, enough about that, but I wanted to mention it as well. Now, for the last bit here, for someone who isn't ready to run the turkey trot, I just wanted to offer a couple of alternatives. I think I hammered home that you can walk the turkey trot, you don't have to run. But if you don't want to walk or run, I would just encourage you to take a little bit of time for yourself on Thanksgiving morning. So maybe do a 20-minute walk just in your neighborhood, nothing official, right? You don't have to sign up for any race. Maybe some yoga or stretching before the day begins, before the family starts arriving. Maybe do some journaling with your morning coffee, just something before the swirl of all the activity starts. So I wanted to encourage that. So if running is not on your radar for this Thanksgiving morning, that's okay. But take this as an opportunity to take a little bit of time for self-care before the day really gets going, because that is kind of that's the point I really wanted to make, that the turkey trot is a really wonderful way to start Thanksgiving morning, and it sets this joyful tone for the day. And if it doesn't work to run this year, that's a-okay, and you can do something else that still sets that tone. Before I let you go, I want to share an exciting upcoming workshop that I'm hosting Thursday, December 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern, called Running Resolutions: Turning Dreams into Distance. In this live guided workshop, we are going to do all things goal setting for 2026. We'll look back on 2025 and see what went well, what lessons we can learn, and then spend the bulk of the time hashing out our running goals that actually fit our very real and very busy lives. We'll create plans that feel supportive instead of overwhelming. And whether you have a new race distance that you want to try that you haven't done before, if you're trying to PR a certain race distance, or if you're wanting to become more consistent with your running, this workshop is for you. It's going to be a supportive, judgment-free space that is especially for women physicians who are juggling demanding schedules and want running to bring calm and peace and joy, and not more pressure, because we have enough of that to go around. The details and registration link are in the show notes, so sign up for that, and I will look forward to seeing you there. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you for listening today. If you enjoyed the episode, please share it with a friend. And if you have a moment, please rate and review the podcast so that we can reach and encourage others to tie on their sneakers and join us out there on a run. See you next time.